Munshi Premchand biography. Munshi Premchand, the 31st of July 1880 to the 8th of October 1936, real name Dhanpat Rai, was an Indian writer famous for his modern Hindi-Urdu literature. He is one of the most celebrated writers of the Indian subcontinent, and is regarded as one of the foremost Hindi writers of the early 20th century. He began writing under the pen name Nawab Rai, but subsequently switched to Premchand, Munshi being an honorary prefix. A novel writer, story writer and dramatist, he has been referred to as the Upanyas Samrat, emperor among novelists by writers. His works include more than a dozen novels, around 250 short stories, several essays and translations of a number of foreign literary works into Hindi. Early life. Munshi Premchand was born on the 31st of July 1880 in Lamhi, a village located near Varanasi, Banaras, and was named Dhanpat Rai, Master of Wealth. His ancestors came from a large Kayastha family which owned 6 acres of land. His grandfather, Guru Sahai Rai, was a Patwari village land record keeper, and his father Ajib Rai was a post office clerk. His mother was Anandi Devi of Karani village, who could have been the inspiration for the character Anandi in his Bade Ghar Ki Beti. Dhanpat Rai was the 4th child of Ajib Lal and Anandi. The first 2 were girls who died as infants, and the third one was a girl named Sugi. His uncle, Mahabir, a rich landowner, nicknamed him Nawab Prince. Nawab Rai was the first pen name chosen by Dhanpat Rai. When he was 7 years old, Dhanpat Rai began his education at a madrasa in Lalpur, located near Lamai. He learnt Urdu and Persian from a Maulvi in the madrasa. When he was 8, his mother died after a long illness. His grandmother, who took the responsibility of raising him, died soon after. Premchand felt isolated as his elder sister had already been married, and his father was always busy with work. His father, who was now posted at Gorkhapur, remarried, but Premchand received little affection from his stepmother. The stepmother later became a recurring theme in Premchand's works. As a child, Dhanpat Rai sought solace in fiction, and developed a fascination for books. He heard the stories from the Persian language fantasy epic Tilazam-e Hoshirubai at a tobacconist's shop. He took the job of selling books for a book wholesaler, thus getting the opportunity to read a lot of books. He learnt English at a missionary school, and studied several works of fiction including George W. M. Reynolds's 8-volume The Mysteries of the Court of London. He composed his first literary work at Gorakhpur, which was never published and is now lost. It was a farce on a bachelor who falls in love with a low-caste woman. The character was based on Premchand's uncle, who used to scold him for being obsessed with reading fiction. The farce was probably written as a revenge for this. After his father was posted to Jamnia in the mid-1890, Dhanpat Rai enrolled at the Queen's College at Banaras as a day scholar. In 1895, he was married at the age of 15, while still studying in the 9th grade. The match was arranged by his maternal step-grandfather. The girl was from a rich landlord family and was older than Premchand, who found her quarrelsome and not good-looking. His father died in 1897 after a long illness. He managed to pass the matriculation exam with 2nd division, below 60% marks. However, only the students with 1st division were given fee concession at the Queen's College. He then sought admission at the Central Hindu College, but was unsuccessful because of his poor arithmetic skills. Thus, he had to discontinue his studies. He then obtained an assignment to coach an advocate's son in Banaras at a monthly salary of 5 rupees. He used to reside in a mud cell over the advocate's stables, and used to send 60% of his salary back home. Premchand read a lot during these days. After racking up several debts in 1899, he once went to a bookshop to sell one of his collected books. There, he met the headmaster of a missionary school at Chinar, who offered him a job as a teacher, at a monthly salary of 18. He also took up the job of tutoring a student at a monthly fees of. In 1900, Premchand secured a job as an assistant teacher at the government district school, Baraj, at a monthly salary of 20 rupees. 3 months later, he was transferred to the district school in Pratapgarh, where he stayed in an administrator's bungalow and tutored his son. Dhanpat Rai first wrote under the pseudonym Nawab Rai. His first short novel was Asrari Mein Abid, Secrets of God's Abode, Devasthan Rahasya in Hindi, which explores corruption among the temple priests and their sexual exploitation of poor women. The novel was published in a series in the Banaras-based Urdu weekly Awazi Khalq from the 8th of October 1903 to February 1905. Literary critic Siegfried Schultz states that his inexperience is quite evident in his first novel, which is not well organized, lacks a good plot and features stereotyped characters. Prakash Chandra Gupta calls it an immature work which shows a tendency to see life only white or black. Stay at Kanpur. From Pratapgarh, Dhanpat Rai was relocated to Allahabad for training and subsequently posted at Kanpur in 1905. He stayed in Kanpur for around 4 years, from May 1905 to June 1909. There he met Munshi Daya Narain Nigam, the editor of the Urdu magazine Zamana, in which he later published several articles and stories. Premchand visited his village Lamai during the summer vacation, but did not find the stay enjoyable because of a number of reasons. He did not find the weather or the atmosphere conducive for writing. Plus, he faced domestic trouble due to quarrels between his wife and his stepmother. Premchand angrily scolded his wife after she unsuccessfully tried to commit suicide by hanging. Dismayed, she went to her father's house, and Premchand displayed no interest in bringing her back. In 1906, Premchand married a child widow, Shivarani Devi, who was the daughter of a landlord from a village near Fatehpur. The step was considered to be revolutionary at that time, and Premchand faced a lot of social opposition. After his death, Shivarani Devi wrote a book on him, titled Premchand Ghar Mein Premchand in House. In 1905, inspired by the nationalist activism, Premchand published an article on the Indian National Congress leader Gopal Krishna Gokhale in Zamana. He criticized Gokhale's methods for achieving political freedom, and instead recommended adoption of more extremist measures adopted by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Premchand's first published story was Duniya Ka Sabse Anmol Ratan, the most precious jewel in the world, which appeared in Zamana in 1907. According to this story, the most precious jewel was the last drop of blood necessary to attain independence. Many of Premchand's early short stories had patriotic overtones, influenced by the Indian independence movement. Premchand's second short novel Hab Khurma or Hansawab Prema in Hindi, published in 1907, was penned under the name Babu Nawab Rai Banarsi. It explores the issue of widow remarriage in the contemporary conservative society. The protagonist Amrit Rai overcomes social opposition to marry the young widow Pona, giving up his rich and beautiful fiancée Prema. According to Prakash Chandra Gupta, while containing seeds of his future greatness in many ways, the novel is still youthful and lacks the discipline which full maturity brings. In 1907, another of Premchand's short novels, Kishna, was published by the Medical Hall Press of Banaras. This 142-page work, which satirizes women's fondness for jewelry, is now lost. Literary critic Nobit Rai criticized the work in Zamana, calling it a mockery of the women's conditions. Adoption of the name Premchand. In 1909, Premchand was transferred to Mehobha, and later posted to Hamirpur as the sub-deputy inspector of schools. Around this time, Sauri-e-Watan was noticed by the British government officials, who banned it as a seditious work. The British collector of the Hamirpur district ordered a raid on Premchand's house, where around 500 copies of Sauri-e-Watan were burnt. After this, Munshi Daya Narain Nigam, the editor of the Urdu magazine Zamana, who had published Dhanpat Ray's first story, Duniya Karan Mulratan, advised the pseudonym Premchand. Dhanpat Rai stopped using the name Nawab Rai and became Premchand. In 1914, Munshi Premchand started writing in Hindi. Hindi and Urdu are considered different registers of a single language, Hindustani, with Hindi drawing much of its vocabulary from Sanskrit and Urdu being more influenced by Persian. By this time, he was already reputed as a fiction writer in Urdu. Sumit Sarkar notes that this switch was prompted by the difficulty of finding publishers in Urdu. His first Hindi story Sot was published in the magazine Saraswati in December 1915. And his first short story collection Sapta Saroj was published in June 1917. Gorakhpur. In August 1916, Premchand was transferred to Gorakhpur on a promotion. He became the assistant master at the Normal High School, Gorakhpur. At Gorakhpur, he developed a friendship with the bookseller Buddhilal, who allowed him to borrow novels for reading, in exchange for selling exam cram books at the school. Premchand was an enthusiastic reader of classics in other languages and translated several of these works in Hindi. By 1919, Premchand had published 4 novels, of about 100 pages each. In 1919, Premchand's first major novel Seva Sadan was published in Hindi. The novel was originally written in Urdu under the title Bazari Husn, but was published in Hindi first by a Calcutta-based publisher, who offered Premchand 450 rupees for his work. The Urdu publisher of Lahore published the novel later in 1924, paying Premchand 250. The novel tells the story of an unhappy housewife, who first becomes a courtesan, and then manages an orphanage for the young daughters of the courtesans. It was well received by the critics, and helped Premchand gain wider recognition. In 1919, Premchand obtained a bar degree from Allahabad. By 1921, he had been promoted to Deputy Inspectors of Schools. On the 8th of February 1921, he attended a meeting in Gorakhpur, where Mahatma Gandhi asked people to resign from government jobs as part of the non-cooperation movement. Premchand, although physically unwell and with 2 kids and a pregnant wife to support, thought about it for 5 days and decided, with the consent of his wife, to resign from his government job. Back to Banaras. After quitting his job, Premchand left Gorakhpur for Banaras on the 18th of March 1921, and decided to focus on his literary career. Till his death in 1936, he faced severe financial difficulties and chronic ill health. In 1923, he established a printing press and publishing house in Banaras, christened Saraswati Press. The year 1924 saw the publication of Premchand's Rangabhumi, which has a blind beggar called Surdas as its tragic hero. Schultz mentions that in Rangabhumi, Premchand comes across as a superb social chronicler, and although the novel contains some structural flaws and too many authorial explanations, it shows a marked progress in Premchand's writing style. According to Schultz, it was in Nirmala 1925 and Pratigya 1927 that Premchand found his way to a balanced, realistic level that surpasses his earlier works and manages to hold his readers in tutelage. Nirmala, a novel dealing with the dowry system in India, was first serialized in the magazine Chand between November 1925 and November 1926. Before being published as a novel, Pratigya, The Vow, dealt with the subject of widow remarriage. In 1928, Premchand's novel Gaban, a embezzlement, focusing on the middle-class greed, was published. In March 1930, Premchand launched a literary political weekly magazine titled Hands, aimed at inspiring the Indians to mobilize against the British rule. The magazine, noted for its politically provocative views, failed to make a profit. Premchand then took over and edited another magazine called Jagaran, which too ran at a loss. In 1931, Premchand moved to Kanpur as a teacher in the Marwari College. but had to leave because of difference with the college administration. He then returned to Banaras and became the editor of the Maryada magazine. In 1932, he published another novel titled Karmabhumi. He briefly served as the headmaster of the Kashi Vidyapeeth, a local school. After the school's closure, he became the editor of the Madhuri magazine in Lucknow, Bombay. Premchand arrived in Bombay on the 31st of May 1934 to try his luck in the Hindi film industry. He had accepted a script-writing job for the production house Ajanta Cinetone, hoping that the yearly salary of 8,000 would help him overcome his financial troubles. He stayed in Dadar and wrote the script for the film Mazdoor, the Labourer. The film, directed by Mohan Bhavnani, depicted the poor conditions on the labour class. Premchand himself did a cameo as the leader of labourers in the film. Some influential businessmen managed to get a stay on its release in Bombay. The film was released in Lahore and Delhi, but was banned again after it inspired the mill workers to stand up against their owners. Ironically, the film inspired the workers of his own loss-making press in Banaras to launch a strike, after they were not paid their salaries. By 1934-35, Premchand's Saraswati Press was under a heavy debt of 4,000 rupees, and Premchand was forced to discontinue the publication of Jagran. Meanwhile, Premchand was beginning to dislike the non-literary commercial environment of the Bombay film industry, and wanted to return to Banaras. However, he had signed a one-year contract with the production house. He ultimately left Bombay on the 4th of April 1935 before the completion of 1 year. Himanshu Roy, the founder of Bombay Talkies, tried to convince Premchand to stay back but did not succeed. Last days, after leaving Bombay, Premchand wanted to settle in Allahabad, where his sons Shripat Rai and Amrit Rai were studying. He also planned to publish Hans from there. However, owing to his financial situation and ill health, he had to hand over Hans to the Indian Literary Council and move to Banaras. Premchand was elected as the first president of the Progressive Writers Association in Lucknow in 1936. He died on the 8th of October 1936, after several days of sickness and while still in office. Godaan, The Gift of a Cow, 1936. Premchand's last completed work, is generally accepted as his best novel, and is considered as one of the finest Hindi novels. The protagonist, Hori, a poor peasant, desperately longs for a cow, a symbol of wealth and prestige in rural India. According to Schultz, Godaan is a well-structured and well-balanced novel which amply fulfills the literary requirements postulated by the Western literary standards. Unlike other contemporary renowned authors such as Rabindranath Tagore, Premchand was not appreciated much outside India. Siegfried Schultz believes that the reason for this was absence of good translations of his work. Also, unlike Tagore and Iqbal, Premchand never travelled outside India, studied abroad or mingled with the renowned foreign literary figures. In 1936, Premchand also published Kafan Shroud, in which a poor man collects money for the funeral rites of his dead wife, but spends it on food and drink. Premchand's last published story was Cricket Match, which appeared in Zamina in 1938, after his death. Style and influences. Premchand is considered the first Hindi author whose writings prominently featured realism. His novels described the problems of the poor and the urban middle class. His works depict a rationalistic outlook, which views religious values as something that allows the powerful hypocrites to exploit the weak. He used literature for the purpose of arousing public awareness about national and social issues and often wrote about topics related to corruption, child widowhood, prostitution, feudal system, poverty, colonialism and on the India's freedom movement. Prashanvachik. Premchand started taking an interest in political affairs while at Kanpur during the late 1900s, and this is reflected in his early works, which have patriotic overtones. His political thoughts were initially influenced by the moderate Indian National Congress leader Gopal Krishna Gokhale. But later, he moved towards the more extremist Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He considered the Mint of Mali reforms and the Montague-Chelmsford reforms as inadequate, and supported greater political freedom. Several of his early works, such as A Little Trick and A Moral Victory, satirized the Indians who cooperated with the British government. He did not specifically mention the British in some of his stories because of strong government censorship, but disguised his opposition in settings from the medieval era and the foreign history. He was also influenced by the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. In the 1920s, he was influenced by Mahatma Gandhi's non-cooperation movement and the accompanying struggle for social reform. During this period, his works dealt with the social issues such as poverty, zemindari exploitation, Prem Ashram, 1922, dowry system, Nirmala, 1925, educational reform and political oppression, Karamabhumi, 1931. Premchand was focused on the economic liberalization of the peasantry and the working class, and was opposed to the rapid industrialization, which he felt would hurt the interests of the peasants and lead to oppression of the workers. This can be seen in works like Rangabhumi, 1924. Premchand's influence on Indian literature cannot be overstated. As the late scholar David Rubin wrote in The World of Premchand, Oxford, 2001, to Premchand belongs the distinction of creating the genre of the serious short story and the serious novel as well, in both Hindi and Urdu. In his last days, he focused on village life as a stage for complex drama, as seen in the novel Godan, 1936, and the short story collection Kafan, 1936. Premchand believed that social realism was the way for Hindi literature, as opposed to the feminine quality, tenderness and emotion of the contemporary Bengali literature.